Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Tokyo Bronx Pop. We're here at Gameacon in Stamford, Connecticut at the Stamford Marriott Hotel and Spa. And I'm here doing, as usual, our short and sweet interview segments with some amazing vendors and guests. So we're here with our first guest. Why don't you please tell people who you are?
I am Magenta Fantasies of Magenta Fantasy Studios. I'm an artist and authoress, as well as an illustrator and graphic designer who got into game design.
Tell us a little bit more. Looking here, it says Outcasts of the Rift. So tell us more about what this game is about.
So it's an action RPG, an adventure game hybrid. I describe it as a combination of Fire Emblem meets Pokemon meets Redwall.
That's nice. Yeah, and I see the artwork design. Do you have a synopsis of what people could look forward to, like maybe a little introduction to get them hooked to the series?
So it's a very story-driven RPG. There's a lot of elements of the storyline that could be influenced by the player's choices, whether in dialogue or directly in gameplay. Combines a mix of adventure gameplay, of exploration, solving problems on the maps, as well as strategy RPG gameplay where you engage in combat.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So what was it that made you create this game? What was your why for creating this?
It's kind of a long story, actually. I was originally an artist, and I was a writer as well, engaged in the creative arts in a lot of ways, and then I got into game design very gradually. I actually have a whole devlog about it on YouTube, and I'll mention that in the next segment.
So if people want to know more about Outcasts of the Rift, and in this video we'll do a little gameplay demo for it, where can people follow you and find out more about this?
So I'm most active on Instagram and Tumblr under Magenta Fantasies on Instagram and Magenta Fantasies Illustrations on Tumblr. I also do post to a couple other sites such as DeviantArt and YouTube. I post my devlogs on YouTube as well under Magenta Fantasies. Also, you can find out more about Outcasts of the Rift specifically on magentafantasies.com/Outcasts of the Rift. It is also available on Steam to download as a demo.
So if you want to play this game that we're going to check out right here now, go download it on Steam. So what kind of genre is this?
So I describe it as it's mostly an RPG, sort of an RPG adventure game hybrid. There's a lot of elements of both that are very prominent in the game. Most notably, it's a strategy RPG.
Nice.
So I recently integrated a couple new difficulty modes. There's veteran mode and story mode. Basically, veteran mode has permadeath in it, so when you lose characters, they disappear from the story as well, for the most part. Some of the important ones still stay alive, but you'll notice
so no revive, they can't come back.
Yes, in veteran mode.
Oh, wow.
Which also impacts the story because you lose dialogue if certain characters are no longer with you.
Wow, that's interesting.
But story mode is a more relaxed experience for people who want to experience the full story and interact with as many of the characters that you can recruit as possible. And then I recently integrated normal and hard mode, so there are some difficulty differences. In hard mode, there are more enemies that appear in the combat maps, and also there are some additional challenges like conditions for completing levels that change, and also it's harder to find items in hard mode. They become hidden. In normal mode, most items appear on the map, but there are still a few hidden ones to discover, kind of like Pokemon in that way. But in hard mode, they're all hidden, so you have to find them yourself.
Yeah, so tell me about the character design. How did you come up with the concept or the creation about them?
So I've always been an illustrator. To me, I find that character design is a particular strength of mine. They're all designed that their species correspond with their personalities or certain aspects of their characters.